What if I told you that Apple's first foldable iPhone might actually be more durable than Samsung's current foldable phones? Yeah, you heard that right. While Samsung has been dominating the foldable market for years, Apple seems to be preparing something that could change the game entirely. We're talking about the iPhone Fold, and the rumors coming out are absolutely wild. From a special protective film that Samsung doesn't even use, to a completely redesigned button layout that breaks every iPhone tradition. And get this, it might have the biggest battery Apple has ever put in an iPhone. Today, we're diving deep into everything we know about Apple's most ambitious iPhone project yet. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the iPhone Fold could be worth that rumored $2,399 price tag. Let's start with the most interesting part, the screen technology. Apple is reportedly working on something called ultra-thin glass, or UTG for short. Now, this isn't just regular glass made thinner. We're talking about glass that can actually fold without breaking. But here's where it gets really interesting. Apple isn't just stopping at the glass itself. They're considering adding a special protective film on top called polyimide film, or PI. Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal about some protective film? Well, let me explain why this matters so much. Samsung, the current king of foldable phones, uses something called polyethylene terephthalate film on their devices. Think of polyethylene terephthalate like the plastic film you might find on a regular screen protector. It works, but it's not exactly premium quality. Polyimide film, on the other hand, is like the luxury version of screen protection. It's way more scratch-resistant than what Samsung uses. The downside? It costs a lot more to make. But knowing Apple, they've never been afraid of using expensive materials if it means a better product. A source close to the matter says Apple hasn't made their final decision yet, but they're leaning heavily toward using the better PI film. This means if you accidentally scratch your iPhone Fold's inner screen, it's way more likely to survive compared to current Samsung foldables. And trust me, this is a huge deal. One of the biggest complaints about foldable phones is how easy it is to damage that inner screen. People have reported scratches from something as simple as a fingernail. Apple seems to be taking this problem seriously. The company behind this PI technology is called Colon Industries. They've worked on similar solutions for other foldable phones before. So Apple will be working with proven experts in this field. Now let's talk about the design changes, because Apple is apparently throwing their traditional design rules out the window. You know how every iPhone has volume buttons on the left side? Well, forget about that. The iPhone Fold is rumored to have all its buttons on the right side and top. The volume controls are moving to the top edge, kind of like what you see on an iPad mini. The power button and camera control button stay on the right side. But here's the really interesting part. The left side will be completely clean. No buttons at all. This isn't just Apple being different for the sake of being different. There's actually some smart engineering behind this decision. When you unfold the phone, you won't need to reach across to the other side to adjust volume or take screenshots. Everything you need is right there on one side. From a technical standpoint, this also means Apple doesn't have to run control wires across the folding screen. That reduces complexity and makes the whole device more reliable. The clean left side also serves another purpose. Apple is apparently using that extra space for a massive battery. We're talking about the largest battery Apple has ever put in an iPhone. The motherboard gets positioned on the right side with all the buttons. The left side becomes dedicated space for screen and battery components. It's actually a pretty clever use of the available space. Speaking of design changes, the camera setup is getting a complete makeover too. Instead of the square camera bump we're used to, the iPhone Fold will have two cameras arranged horizontally. Think more like a traditional camera layout rather than the current iPhone style. But here's the weird part. The camera module will always be black. It doesn't matter what color you choose for the phone body. White phone, black camera module. Any other color, still a black camera module. This is totally different from Apple's usual approach of matching colors. Currently, if you buy a blue iPhone, the camera module is blue too. Apple seems to be going for a more contrasted look with the iPhone Fold. Some people think this might actually look more premium, like having a black accent piece on a luxury item. The rumors suggest the iPhone Fold will come in white for sure. There might be one other color option, possibly black, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. Another interesting detail is the return of Touch ID. Remember fingerprint scanning on iPhones? Apple removed it when they introduced Face ID back in 2017. But the iPhone Fold might bring it back in the power button. This actually makes sense for a foldable device. When the phone is folded shut, Face ID might not work as well. Having Touch ID as a backup option could be really useful. The dynamic island is also getting smaller on the iPhone Fold. For those who don't know, the dynamic island is that pill-shaped area at the top of recent iPhones. It houses the front camera and sensors. A smaller version means more screen space, which is always good. Now let's talk about that elephant in the room, the price. Research firms are predicting the iPhone Fold could cost $2,399. That's more expensive than many people's laptops. But when you think about what Apple is reportedly putting into this device, the price starts to make more sense. You're getting that premium PI film protection that costs more than Samsung's solution. Ultra-thin glass technology that can actually fold. The biggest battery Apple has ever made. A completely redesigned button layout for better usability. And presumably all the premium materials and build quality Apple is known for. Compare that to Samsung's current foldable phones, which already cost around $1,800 to $2,000. Apple's extra $400 might actually be worth it if you get significantly better durability. The big question is whether regular consumers will see the value in paying that much. Foldable phones are still pretty niche. Most people are perfectly happy with regular smartphones. But Apple has a history of entering markets late and then dominating them. They did it with smartphones, tablets, and smartwatches. Maybe foldable phones are next. One thing we haven't talked about is when this might actually happen. The latest rumors suggest the iPhone Fold could launch alongside the iPhone 18 Pro models. That would put it sometime in 2025, probably around September. Apple apparently only has a few months left to finalize all these design decisions. So we should start getting more concrete information soon. The company is still reportedly working through some technical challenges. Eliminating the crease where the screen folds is apparently still a problem. Every current foldable phone has this issue to some degree. You can see and feel a line where the screen bends. Apple is supposedly trying to solve this completely. If they can pull that off, it would be a huge advantage over the competition. So there you have it, everything we know about Apple's iPhone Fold so far. From the premium polyamide film that beats Samsung's protection to the radical button redesign that breaks iPhone tradition. This isn't just going to be an iPhone that happens to fold. Apple seems to be rethinking the entire smartphone experience for a foldable form factor. Will it be worth $2,399? That depends on how much you value durability and Apple's attention to detail. But one thing's for sure, if these rumors are true, Samsung's going to have some serious competition. What do you think about these iPhone Fold rumors? Would you pay over $2,000 for Apple's first foldable phone? So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates.